All right. Let me get myself seated here. Okay, we're going to do one more little spoon. And let me get this right here. Let me see. Okay. Now, what we have here, now this is going to be a little bit smaller spoon than what we did last time. It's still cut out of 3/4 inch wood. I'm sorry for all the, oh brother. He's making a lot of noise. I'm sorry for the, there's a guy picking up trash. And now we pretty much know how to do the spoon, but we're gonna, and this is gonna be a little crow, is what it's gonna be. So this one's just a little bit smaller of a spoon than the other ones, but we basically are gonna do the same type of deal. We basically have our spoon we draw about halfway down and we come in here with the spoon and we take and we begin to just remove our and that's about halfway down, so we want to just kind of come in here. Not quite. We're going to take some more off. Now you can cut this also with a bandsaw. Cut it off like that, but I'm going to carve it so that we can see that. See how that goes? And before we get any further in this thing, we're going to go ahead and take some off of our now on this one, we're taking some sorry about my hand, but I have to be this way to, because what happens is with this it goes about halfway through and then it changes grain, so we have to kind of that truck is pretty much down the street now, so we're not having a lot of, and we take it and kind of come around like that. It being smaller, it's a little bit harder to handle, but that's okay. All I'm doing basically is just digging that out and around in there with my gouge. Now you can also take a Fordham or a Motul tool or whatever, and you can do the same thing with a power, which is probably going to be a lot faster and a lot easier, but we're doing it with a gouge. Now we've got pretty good here. We've looking pretty good. See, sort of like that. Now what we want to do now is come to the back of the spoon, and we want to start removing, just like we did with the other one. Start removing wood. We're going to just kind of start removing this wood, because of course that will give us the shape of the spoon that we want. And also remove the saw marks, the bandsaw marks that we have. See, as we start to look at it, just like that. But we'll be kind of wow, we have just now. We don't want to take any more off here, because we're going to have to bring the crow back. Now, like I said, you could have cut with a bandsaw, you could have taken it and cut it like that. But we're going to carve it so that we, and just like the other one, the back side of this will not be a factor. In other words, what I'm saying is it won't have the design on it like the front will, because we want it to be down to this thin part of the and we're getting down there. There we go. Getting down pretty thin now. Now we want to stop that for a minute. We'll slowly bring this down back here. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and do a little bit more on the sides here. Okay. All right, and let's go ahead and just start just shaping this outside here of our spoon. And we just kind of get these shaped in here. See that? As we look. And then what we want to do is we want to round this off, this area in here. We want to bring it and round it off on both sides. When I say round off, I mean, you know, sort of get it not where it's square. Okay. Now you just kind of take it easy. You don't get rambunctious. And you don't, there we go, see? It's kind of, and we kind of, just like that. And then we sort of look at our piece. Now what I want to do is, this one I don't want to just make a, where's my, I want to come a little bit more on the rounding of the, in other words, I want more inside of the spoon looking. Okay. And we're just kind of, I'm going to have a thinner wall. I'm coming out further with this little spoon because I want it to have kind of a, there we go. Alright, as we look at our piece there, in other words, and we want to keep this kind of flat in here because it is a spoon, and kind of get this rounded off just a little bit. Okay, see that from the back, in other words? And, of course, to hold it like that as we go. And then I'll sand that down. Okay, look at that, see? Alright, now let's go ahead and start the decorative part of the front of it. I'm going to go ahead and use my V-tool in here, and I'm going to go around here on the wing, come up just like this. We're going to give that a little bit of keep reaching for stuff, man. This is, and we're gonna, of course, bring that wing out by using, there we go. That's why you don't want to get too thin on the other side, because you want to have room so that you can bring out your detail in your wing and places like that, in other words. So you want to have enough. See, you can always take off in the back there, but it's hard to take off in the front. Now this pretty much brings up in here, in this sort of there, like that. See, this kind of goes back like this. And this sort of comes in like this, in other words, pretty heavy. Like that. See it? In fact, let me... And this sort of just comes back like that. See it? Okay. Now, let me take my V-tool and I'm gonna go a little bit deeper with this wing. Last time I used my knife, but I just said, well, I'll use my V-tool. Now, on the crow, we're gonna just sort of make his head like this. Okay, and we're gonna come some more down with this so that that wing will stand out. That's why I say you want to give yourself plenty of time. This is probably a little over 1/4 of an inch here that we have in here, and we want to sort of, now let's go ahead and make our, the crow has a pretty good size beak, so we're going to make a little cut there. There we go, and we're going to take a little bit off right in there. There we go. See? Just like that. And let's go ahead and just shape our I'm going to come down with this, because what we need to do, we need to bring some more away from the back, make that crow thinner, because all of our detail is, remember, is up front here. It's to be used up front here and not in the back. Okay? So we can take some more off of this crow in the back so it will sit flatter. Just want to be careful because the grain does change different ways. Okay, and we want to just sort of shape that head. Just want to shape it a little bit, in other words, just like that, in other words. I want to come a little bit more on this crow right in here where we've got a deeper. A crow is not what you would call the most beautiful animal in the world. Now we want to be very, very careful back here, but what we want to do is we want to cut, be very, very careful, okay? We want to cut up. Ooh, that's so thin back in there. Okay, I just want to cut that a little bit. I hope that didn't. I'll take a little super glue and put in there just to trying to divide that, but it was supposed to be divided a little bit, and I want to be careful. Like that, there we go. Where it's sort of, and we want to just trying to get those saw marks off of there. There we go. We are, just like that. Now, once again, we're going to take our V-tool and we're going to make some little we want to come, go up a little bit, come, go up a little bit, and do the same thing here. In other words, we just want to give it some And then we want to throw some big ones in here, like right there and right there. In other words, just right there. We want to come down here, and we want to come here and here, and kind of make our other wings, as we say for the little crow. And I want to just make that just a little bit deeper. Okay, just like that, in other words. And basically a crow is, there's not a lot of detail to a crow. He's pretty much not the most prettiest bird in the world, as we commonly say. But I love the sound of crows, especially when I'm up in the woods or something like that. You used to be able to hunt crows, but you can't. I don't know if you still can. I'm not sure. I haven't hunted them in years. What I'm saying is, a lot of years ago, interesting about crows, farmers would let you go into their fields and hunt crows. And they were, because a lot of them would mess with their what they were planting and stuff like that. So a crow is he's a unique animal in all, but he can also be an animal that your corn, especially, and things like that. He can be a scavenger on your corn and stuff like that. So years ago, you would go down to a field and asked the farmer. I said, "Look, can we kill some of your crows?" And they said, "Sure." They loved it because kept them out of the fields, the cornfields. So we would used to go down there and shoot a lot of crows. And now a crow. Let me just say this for sure: a crow is a very smart bird. And the thing about a crow is they will alert one another when there's danger and stuff like that. So it wasn't just like walking out there and shooting them. You had to really kind of. We usually had callers, and we had electronic callers that would call crows and stuff like that. And we used decoys like owls and not owls. We would use oh brother, what was that we would use? Trying to think. Now the owls would usually scare them away, but oh God, it's been so long. I'm trying to think of what we used to use. But we would call those crows in with electronic things, and we would shoot the crows for him, and they loved it. The farmers loved it because now I think crows right now are kind of they're not extinct, but because there's a lot of crows, but you can't. I haven't checked lately about hunting crows, if they have outlawed it or whatever. Now look at that. Now it's starting to look really, really good. Now let's go ahead and make him an eye. And I'm just going to kind of make a little eye up here and kind of come down like this. And I'm going to take my V tool and I'm going to come up underneath here. And I'm going to come up above and do the same thing. And there's his eye. Okay? And, but we used to hunt them. Mostly the electronic callers is what call most of the crows in. Really, when you're in cornfields, a lot of times it's not really hard because crows love corn. And like I said, now, you know, corn is, I don't know. I don't know how. It's been so long since I've hunted crows that it's just been ages. So I don't know if people still kill them. I'm not sure if you can. I'm gonna have to look that up and see if they are you're not able to hunt them anymore. Back then, like I say, there were so many of them. You were just, you know, you had. But like I said, they were very smart animals and very smart birds. And they just didn't fly down there. You had to call them in a lot of times because they crows have a lookout. They always had a lookout, and that lookout would tell the others that there was danger and all that stuff. So anyway, I get to talking too much, but I remember when we used to hunt them. Okay, well, I tell you what, that's looking pretty good. So I tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to end this now, and we're going to come back and finish it off. And so, okay.